So this is a rental property I'm working on for a family member, and we rented it out with a weird little apartment dishwasher. It plugs into the faucet. Yeah, that's okay, but I was thinking we decided we wanted to go with a better dishwasher, and so the kitchen cabinets here are 22 inches deep, maybe 22 and a half, and they're trailer cabinets, so it's kind of weird. But anyway, I figured that I think I can get a standard dishwasher in there, and so I went ahead and bought one. And so yeah, it's gonna be a little hard. There's gonna be some major modifications. Luckily there's a plug-in right here, and so I can drop down a wire from there and make that into a junction and get electricity. Now the wires are the polybutadiene that's been recalled, or polybutadiene, whatever. And so I got Sharkbite connectors that connect to that to CPVC, so we're good on that. And so the big part would be carpentry work. And so I'm gonna start by taking these two doors off, and I know I'm gonna have to cut one of these doors. What do you know? I was able to modify the cabinet enough. The big thing was make sure the door opened and closed. It's not installed yet. I still got to run electrical, drain, and water. Alright, perfect fit. I had to adjust the legs. As you can see here, I made a really small door just by cutting it, and I framed out in there with some pieces of wood I ripped to like 1x1s. So I'm going to remove it and show you what I've done. Alright, so here's kind of how I did it. I cut this wall here. You know, I cut the trim piece here with the saws, all that, and I put a piece of plywood here, and I framed it out, and also framed out down there a little bit. I got a piece of plywood ready to go over this. This is wet, and the reason why is there is a ice maker. You can see that weird connection, the brass one down below there, that's been leaking. It's like a little puncher connection, and there's no ice maker here in the fridge, so I'm going to cut the water line a little bit lower than that, and I'm going to be taking it to CPVC, and yeah, next I'm going to do my plumbing part of it, my water lines anyway, and I got all those ready to go. Sharkbite connectors to connect to the half-inch gray pipe. It's kind of like, it's been recalled, mostly on the joints. The pipe itself's fine, it's just the way it connects. So I got my new braided cable water lines connected. Here's actually where it was leaking. As you can see, that's a weird little crush type plug. It cuts into it, and it's been leaking for a long time, rust. Anyway, yeah, that's why all the wood's kind of saturated underneath here. So next I need to use my Sharkbite connections. Here's one right here. This is a T one, and all it has is like a little push connector, and that little white thing goes inside the pipe, and it has actual teeth and kind of like a rubber gasket, and surprisingly it works. I was amazed the first time I used it because there's no glue involved, and also there's a lot of play in the pipe still, which, you know, I'm thinking, okay, well, this is going to leak, but you know, done it a couple times, it hasn't, so I'm happy with it. Alright, I put a piece of plywood scrap across the back and screwed it on the studs, just so I had something to do, something to mount all my valves to. As you can see, got my dishwasher going this way off the hot supply, CPVC, half-inch, and I got my little cold supply over here. It's all hooked up, braided cable connections, and space it out for 2x4 so you've got enough room to turn the valve on and off. Just kind of make it look neater than it was. And yeah, we're ready for the water to be back on. Well, there she is running. I got the electrical from that plug, dropped it down. As you can see, my water line set up, the drain goes in here. I had to replace all these 1.5-inch pipes, and also I had to replace the bottom of the sink thing, because after I started turning it, it was rusted on there, but it started leaking because the putty kind of broke up, the plumber's putty. So I replaced those, which was kind of hard because I had to cut that nut off with a Sawzall, as you can see on the old ones. So only things left is to clean up, and yeah, so I'm quite happy. This is a 22.5-inch cabinet, very odd, and everyone I talked to said, oh, you're gonna have to get an 18-inch you know, dishwasher, because they don't go, I guess, as back as far. I think they would go back the same distance, but anyway, it works. Just almost flush with the countertops, except just a tiny bit. I made a little half door here. I put a piece of plywood. I made it look good.